to work okay, guys. Welcome to MMA Sip and Smoke, where we smoke fine cigars of various types and calibers and beer and or other libations, but primarily beer. Let's, as always, check the sound. Check the sound. Welcome, bout betters. Hopefully everyone is doing okay. I'm not in the best of spirits, and I think a lot of that has to do. All right, sound is good, but it's back to that little screen, and I have no idea. Man, I uploaded, and I uninstalled and reinstalled the application, so I don't know what's going on here with this thing. Let me add a first scene. Why not? Let me see if I can create a new layout. There we go. But with this one, boom. Let me do this. Welcome, bout betters. Man, that is unfortunate. No, that isn't going to do it. And now I don't know what the hell's going on here. What am I doing? Boom. All right. Boom. Does it go when I do this to full screen? No, I don't want to do that. No, that's really, really bit bizarre. That is bizarre. It's on me. And then my ugly ass. That it's on full screen when it's like this. That's something maybe to do with the camera internally. Why did it do that? That's odd. Maybe what I could do is this. Well, let's talk about. We're not going to talk about our disappointment, or at least our um, um, uh, lack of progress, our lack of success last week. It was, let's just say, it was painful and dismal. It was painful to the point where it really, really hurts. And I don't want to get too far down in that rabbit hole because you won't be coming out of it, right? Like if you continue, it just was a bad day, was a bad evening. But let's see if this cigar here, the Project Alec and Bradley Project 40 cigar. This is, there's something up here. What is up here? What should I write up here? Stream title. All right, let's write it. Let's see what the hell is that about. I have no idea what that box is there. I put something in the box and then it's still there. Oh no. No, thank you, Illinois Bigfoot. I've not had one of those steel reserves in a very long time, and I'm not looking for that to happen again. I don't know why I have that blank box up there. That is not cool. I don't know what to do. I just put something in there. And it doesn't come up. So, boom. Let's see if it do it this way. Boom. Why does it go to me? I have no idea. Look like shit. Bad camera angle. Boom. Yeah, this is tough, guys. I don't know what, and it still has that box there in this. That's even worse. Oh no, that's better. Oh no, it has that box still there. Yeah, it has that box that all right, then that box is gone now. All right. At least the box is gone now. All right, speaking to the cigar. All right, the cigar, it's an Alec and Bradley. I had, and now that fucking thing is still there. This is just annoying. It's really annoying, but it is what it is, guys. I can't do anything about it. I'm not going to try to troubleshoot it at this point right now. But this cigar we had, I thought I had it before, but we had the Maduro version. So this is the Naturale version. I believe this was like a close to a $7 cigar. It's their experimental series. I don't know what is experimental about them, but it's the Project 40 series. I didn't do any research on it. I'm assuming, and that's an assumption, that it is primarily in Nicaraguan cigars because that's what Alec and Bradley's. Oh, there's some words here. There's some reading to be done because that's where Alec and Bradley is primarily based out of, and that's where they have most of their tobacco. But that's not to be said that there can't be tobacco in here that's from a different country, that's sourced from somewhere else, or that they grow themselves, like that they could have their own Cameroon blend, they could have their own Mexican blend. They can acquire tobaccos from other locations and then utilize them. So let me get to the point here where Project 40 is the search to find deeper understanding as to why cigars have a positive cognitive impact on the mind and body. Similar to music, cigars have a feel reward. So it says, similar to music, cigars have a feel rewarded. A proper blend, price, and experience has been developed for your enjoyment. Take control of your happiness. And that's signed Alan. I'm not certain who it signed. There's an embossing there. So it's really nice embossing on the band. I like that Alec and Bradley established 1996, the Project 40. There's something behind this. So there's some existential, philosophical little point that they have there, but that's, neither here nor there. I don't understand why it is an experimental series. I assume that it has an experimental blend. Looking at the cigar, we see that it has some decent oils on it. It's a nice wrapper. Ooh, that's that hole right there. You see that hole, guys? And it was peeling. I probably didn't store it best, but it has a very nice, not necessarily habanero, but a very nice texture. Let's see here. Let me see something, guys. Let me see something on this. See if the title comes up. Oh, just wasting some time. I want to get to this beer because it's summertime, even though it's really shitty outside today. We're there, guys. Let's see if that's done. Boom. Let's see if that did anything. I don't think it did anything. All right, whatever. So there, those things are all nice and said and done, but I guess I would say yes, fairly, like for the size of the cigar, which is their Toro size, it's like a 60 big ring gauge, really nice big ring gauge. There's the cap, really nice. You can tell the oils on the side. Very tight rolled, nicely rolled cigar. Excellent for $6. I think it was just over $6. Let's see how this cigar turns out. I think it's primarily Nicaraguan. There has to be something special about it that's different, or else it wouldn't be a project, right? Maybe, again, I don't know what they're searching for, what they're looking at, but I decided I was initially going to have the Alec and Bradley broadleaf, and that's why, besides it being summer, and I fall for this. It's the Midwest Dawn. I love this beer. It reminds me of surfing, Dawn Patrol, waking up early, which I need to start doing, and just doing a little exercise, riding the bike. This is Solemn. They make really good stuff. This is a wheat ale with guava and lime. So I thought that with the heavier cigar, with the broadleaf, that this might be a good combination. And with this Naturale, I think it still might work. With the Naturale, it might have a little bit more salt. Salt. It might have a little more cedar and wood. I doubt that it has any citrus notes, but it might have some nutty notes, some a little more softness to it. That it could just really pair well with this beer. So instead of the darker, richer cigar, I tried the cigar that we haven't reviewed before, because we have reviewed the broadleaf. So what does it say here? It's 4% alcohol, so it's not a lot. It's a gentle guava and lime soaked in sunrise breeze blown across this sprawling wheat ale. So it's a wheat ale. Should be nice, light, not so strong. It's still going to give us a good buzz. So not like the beer that Illinois Bigfoot drinks, the Steel Reserve, which, guys, I'd advise you not to drink. You know, Four Locos. Wow, that was interesting. Four Locos, Steel Reserve. I don't know what's up, why that beer came up like that. Not good. Right off, lots of lime, guys. And a little, yep, I taste the guava. Very light. I'm maintaining too much head on the pour here. My apologies, guys. But I only have to apologize to myself. It looks light and juicy. I can see, I think it's a temperature change here. As I was bringing this home, look at all of that head. Oh my God, I can't believe I poured that much head on the beer. Come on, you're better than that. That's like amateur hour. Jesus, I consider myself a professional and I pour a beer like that. That's pathetic. That is pathetic. But look at the juiciness to it. Another sour. Ooh, sour with a little sweetness. You guys that like these sours would love this beer because it's not super sour. It's like a hint of sour from the citrus on the lime, and the guava's there. It's really nice, like that guava, light guava finish. Really, really nice, but sour. Has a little bit of a sour taste. As you guys know, I like that more creamy juice taste, that elixir. One thing I will say about the lime and its sourness is that even though it is sour, it's not heavy, crazy tart sour. It's just slightly sour. Boy, Jackson, what's up, my man? I wish I had the power of Bo Jackson this week. Let me switch this around, guys. As I mentioned to you before, I say it was a losing week, it was a devastatingly losing week. I lost every single bet. I didn't win any bet. And again, I apologize for the little small screen. Stay with me. I know it's a pain in the ass. But I did not win a single bet. Not a prop, not a parlay bet, not a crazy parlay, not a silly, nothing. I may have made, I think, 8 bets this event. I think about 8 bets, and I lost every single one of them. And the two main bets that I lost big on were Gilbert Burns and Marina Rodriguez. Those bets tallied for $200. $100 a piece or $200. And then I had another $80 in random bets that I lost. And I didn't bet any more than that. I could have bet something on the end there, and I probably would have won that out because I was looking at a decision prop. Just horrible. There's nothing more to be said than that was utter, complete. Oh, look, I could see somebody like at least the chat busted in the bottom of the screen. That's a little new and different. Bo Jackson, I wouldn't say that, man. I don't know. I'm not going to make any excuses. I will admit that I placed those 2 bets both on research and my own stipulation. I thought that Marina Rodriguez had more. I thought she had better takedown defense. Like, she did so well against Mackenzie Dern in her takedown defense, as well as her submission defense and her get-up game, that I thought that she was going to easily get back up from this gal. This gal dominated her. She had like 12 minutes of control time. She did no damage, but of course she still deserved to win because there was no. Marina Rodriguez, literally, the damage she did more, I believe, than this gal, but not enough to win. Definitely not enough to win. And Gilbert Burns, I'm not going to blame it on injury. I think he was, look at the improvement. And I mentioned that before, both these fighters, I did speak to that. look at the improvement that Bilal Muhammad has been making. He stymied Gilbert Burns with that movement, with moving on the outside, his darting attacks, his switching his feet. He absolutely, from the get, dominated. Gilbert Burns had no chance from the start. And he might have gotten injured in the fight, but there was nothing that Gilbert Burns did. He didn't look the same as he did in any of the other fights. And so I was on Burns. I was highly on Burns. I was happy with the number because I had Marina Rodriguez initially at minus 140, and then she dropped down to even money, and I doubled down. And same with Gilbert Burns. He dropped down as well. And the pains of continually underestimating Bilal Muhammad is definitely hurting me. But just in general, losing every single bet. I lost all like my expendable money to go to this Kansas City event. I mean, North Carolina event. I'd still like to go. The guys aren't going. I could possibly stay with my family there. I just don't want to put them, impose them. So I might be passing on this event here. You know, just disappointing. So let's try this cigar here. Since it's mine, I can smell it now. Yep. Josh is calling. Can't pick up. We're doing the sip and smoke. Let me hang up on this guy. Jesus, dude. Yeah. Yeah, so bad. No bueno, no bueno, no bueno. Strawweight fights are tough. I'm not going to search for any excuses, guys. I mean, I'm not perfect, right? Like we're gambling isn't a, those people that say that they win all these bets and they're like 80%, 90%. Sure, you could show me the proof too. You could fabricate stuff. I just know the reality of it that most of us aren't in that range, right? Most of us, I gamble a lot. I've been gambling for years, going through decades now. I've had my ups and downs. I've been doing rather well the past few years. Last year was a losing effort. This year is becoming a bigger losing effort. We're back to that down like close to 10 units mark, and we're only in May, right? So that's pretty serious, guys, right? We're in May, the fifth 5 months, we've, lost close to $2,000 since the first event of the year. So that's not good. And it's been small. It's been this small, gradual bleeding of $200 an event here, $300 an event there, winning or breaking even for 200, like a little bit of back and forth. But overall, the areas sometimes when we're making these stronger bets and losing them, like being like this particular event, I'm in that. I want to say I'm in that $300+ range that I lost. This one, this event, we're in that 360. I haven't gone back because it's just been painful. I know I'm over $300 losses, and it's just whether it's 320 or 340 or 360 or 380. We're in that range. I didn't anticipate I'm betting that much, but then I started to like lose a couple of those little bets, and then I'm like, okay, I'm going to double down on this thing, and I'm going to, I just went to all losses. So that what unfortunately is going to force, because I have a vacation coming up, I'm still going to bet. I'm not going to quit gambling. Oh, I also lost all my Rangers bets, every last one of them. The money line plays that I made, all my bets on Savannah Jad to score a goal, disappointing. My first goal scored, I just lost everything. So not good. Just overall not a very productive week of gambling. Nothing, just not very good. Just really just super disappointing. hopefully nobody, not enough people tail me, which is a good thing. There's not enough fans here. And I think most of my audience, most of the people that do watch this, do most of their gambling on their own. And hopefully I just provide some information. I realized that before I provided a lot better statistical information that I used to, but hopefully they glean something from what we're talking about. If not, just hopefully you just enjoy the show, enjoy what we're talking about, or enjoy a cigar, enjoy if we're talking about any particular topic. I don't think we do very much topics, not in terms of just maybe just some life coaching, life happiness, maybe some traveling or some food or a story or something like that. We have today, I have the same Sugus watch that I wear often, and I put it on this gray rally strap. I don't know if you could see it from there. Give me a second here, light the cigar, and we'll get to that. Ooh. Yeah, so the gray Sugus on the Sugus on the gray rally strap, right? Beautiful movement on the back. Beautiful, beautiful movement. Nice stainless steel case back, sapphire crystal on this gray Strapsco rally strap leather. May not be the best combination, but I'm wearing some gray Vans shoes. The watch goes with some of the blues that are in the shirt. The gray matches the Vans that I have on right now. So matching the watch to the Vans to the shoe. All right. Wow. Mm. Mm. Right away, guys, just like the beer, nice and soft. What I was saying in terms of the that I was catching, the beer is pairing really well, giving this more of a slight citra. That sharp lime probably in the beer is being cut or picked up on and marrying with the cigar well. That gives it a very nice little citrus finish. Same with the guava. Like those are a good combination with cigars. Those two. I think more of the guava maybe. Soft, soft, sort of nutty note, creamy, very light. Still getting a good draw. I wish I get a more impactful draw, but again, that's my preference. This is just a naturale, so it's going to have that lighter texture, but it has complex flavors. It's not just monochromatic, just doesn't have that one flavor. It's not just a monotone of flavor. Real nice, subtle spice. It's not peppery. It's more of a not a strong nutmeg, but there's a little bit of a spice in here. I'm fighting it a little bit because I want that bigger draw. I want that bigger flavor, but it's light and creamy. Again, it has that nice, subtle citrus sort of taste, and I think that's the beer with a light nuttiness and that not quite nutmeg, but there's like a certain spice. I'm not familiar how to describe it. Very soft on the nose. Very soft. Like it. I like it. right out the bat for the price. Wow. I mean, for the price, this is a fabulous smoke. Like it's already a 7.5. I wish it had a little bit fuller of a body, but it's a lighter body cigar. I think this is a cigar that you could easily give to a novice and they can enjoy it. Um, Great palate. It's got a great flavor palette. So it's, again, has multiple flavors. I think you could go with plenty of different beers and or like a cocktail or scotch or things, something like that. I would stick to wine and beers with this cigar. It's so soft and the flavors are so subtle. And while interesting, the guava's there, but you get this initial sourness. Guava to sour to guava, if that makes any sense to folks. Like it's initially a very hit sour hard. Oh, that was a little different right there. Very interesting beer. Very nice combination. It's a great balance between the sour and citrus. That they do a very good job. Light. I can taste that it's a wheat ale. It's not full. It's not filling you up. It can be highly drinkable still. Good summer beer. Very nice choice of a blend over there from Solemn Brewing. They always make some really good. Love the can, but they make some good products, some good beers. And I think that it cleans the palate well, and then it still leaves some citrus residue that is shining or marrying with the cigar and adding to the cigar flavor. Yeah, and that's the other thing. Sometimes you have to go with what the pace of the cigar wants you to do. I'm fighting the cigar a little bit. I think the cigar wants me to nurture it, to baby it, to not be so aggressive with it. It wants me to just really enjoy, just sit back, relax, Roberto. Even though you're doing this little thing of ratings on the show, it's resisting. It's like, it's not going to let me get what I want out of it. I have to let it sing to me. Let it, I mentioned it from the band. I have to let it speak to me rather than me force it. And by that, I mean, I'm over here trying to get this, trying so I can make a narrative and, speak to it about it to you. But what really I should be doing is just relaxing, enjoying the cigar, kicking back, talking to you guys, reminiscing on how, whether bad or good, we could talk about like what the fights were, because it wasn't a bad card at all. I mean, we saw some really decent MMA, some new people come and shine. The loss of Drew Dober, just insane. Like, I think it was a great card. Mm. Mm. Yeah, that last subtle bit there with the Citra, I think it's a little bit more of the beer, but it really complements the cigar rather well. And now, since that first burst, it doesn't have that same. It has a sort of that seed more that there's a little bit more of that cedar and nut, but not as strong of that spice. So I'm assuming it's going to come back. We're still at the beginning here. Let's just give it some more time. But still, I could tell this is a great quality cigar. Again, if anything that has like a good flavor set, which this one does, like if you could note or pick up on nuts, cedar, and or a fruit or a little bit of that, citrus, right? A little citrus or fruit there, which again could be from the beer. I think anytime you have a palate set, even if there's with that spice that I mentioned before, it wasn't nutmeg, it was something really like nutmeg. right? A little, it had just some kind of spicy sugar in some way. I know that, man, that nice, nice. I know that Solemn would kill me, but you know what I almost want to do with this beer is pour it in a different glass. I want to actually mix it with vodka or tequila. Quite honestly, I want to mix it with vodka or tequila. Either one. I think even a tequila, and then put some tagine around the rim of the glass on some ice and drink it that way. I know what the ice would be bad, so it wouldn't work, but the tagine and some of the vodka it might work. Might work. I'm sorry, or the tequila, it might work. And I do shit like that. I'll give it a try. I'll have a can during the summer. But like, hey, you know what? Let me just try this. Let me experiment with this. Let me even out of a beer. I will mix hard alcohol with certain beers. This has enough guava and lime to do that. With the little tagine, which is this Mexican spice, I think it'd go really well. Like some kind of like margarita almost type. It has that margarita type flavor set. I guess that's what I'm getting at. And put some of the tagine, not salt, but tagine spice around the top of the glass. Ooh, might be pretty refreshing. Might be pretty nice. Have to give it a try. Give it a try, Solemn. Let me. I'll try it someday. I'll give it a try. Have to do a show on like during the summer. We'll get like 4 different types of beers, and during our session, we'll make like 4 different cocktails out of it somehow. Right? I'll buy some beers that I think will make good cocktails out of. Not these beers that are already a cocktail. I would argue that like beers from Short Fuse, these sours, the ones that they do already sell, almost like a daiquiri and a margarita, those are already mixed for you, right? They're already basically a cocktail, and some of those I think can be enhanced with that process. I think that the goal would be is to take regular beers that aren't really sold as flavored or soured cocktails like this one, and then transforming it into something else or utilizing it in a different format as a cocktail. And because here's a yeah, wheat ale. I remember I used to in margaritas, a good way to get a little more creaminess and a different texture to it is to mix some wheat ale into your margarita. Mix something in there. It works. I'm not a purist. I think if anything, I'm not a pure. The only thing I'm a purist in really is cigars. I would say I'm not a fan of flavored cigars or cigars that are are given literally flavoring, or if they're adding literally like storing in a mint leaf. Remember the mint cigar I didn't like. Uh, Even some of these beers, I'm not as much in the beer, but if there's certain ones, and I have to apologize to this guy that illuminated. Uh, I didn't want the uncle that had that little candy, cotton candy bubblegum flavor. Oh man, I just could not deal with that flavoring in a beer. But everybody has different tastes, and it works for different people. So um, again, I'm willing to experiment with the beers. I think it's fun. We can't always do things straight. You can't always make a steak the same way. I was talking to a coworker about that today. I'm like, I like steak in a lot of different contexts. I'll eat steak tartare. I like it with different sides. I like it pretty much rare or medium rare for the most part, but I don't mind it if it's fried. I don't mind it if it's grilled, if you put it on a stove, if you have it with rosemary and butter, or if you have it like with a different kind of sauce with mushrooms, for example, or a cream sauce. I'm not averse to any of that. I could have steak every single day. I would just figure out a way to change it up a little bit. Nice, soft, subtle, green, green in a good way. I don't want to say green because that would there's different greenery. It has more of a bouquet that's, because it's so soft. I don't want to say floral or flowery, but it isn't jungle, right? The Alec and Bradley double broadleaf reminds you that jungle dirt. This is more of that sweet farmland with the, like prairie almost. It has flowers and butterflies and insects, and it's not jungle, right? This cigar to me doesn't scream jungle. It screams more farm than jungle, if that makes any sense to anyone. Its counterpart, the Maduro, probably was more jungle. But Alec and Bradley broadleaf more jungle. The Maduro that we had last week, more jungle. Like the flavors were more deep, hot, lots of soil. Where this is more wood, more citrus, more light creaminess, more spice. But spice, I mean not peppery spice, a light spice. If you're a wine person, this cigar reminds me more of Sonoma than Napa, right? Where Napa has those Cabernets and those deep, deep, rich reds. Sonoma has these nice light plateaus with beautiful light wines. It has some red wines as well, but more of a nice Chardonnays, your Pinot Grigios. Just a different, lighter farming over there, different environment. Interesting. Soft on the nose. The beer, the Citra, I like it, but it's starting to overwhelm my palate. Like I really enjoy it. Mm. It certainly cleans the palate really well. That lime really cleans the palate. Am I still alive? Yeah, I'm still alive. Still there. Still there. And still. How about Aljamain Sterling? Same thing. What a performance. Like, talk about people getting better and better and better. You know, Aljo. I think that Sugar Sean, is going to have a big problem with Aljo. I think Aljo's going to do what he says. He's going to, knock out O'Malley or finish O'Malley, have that challenge with Volkanovski, and if he wins that, he's just going to ride out in the sunset. And that's a great way of thinking it, great way of doing it. And if you're able to succeed like that, it's the way to go out on top. Go out the way Khabib, go out as a champion. The way Khabib did, the way George St. Pierre did. That's what you want to do. It's sad when we saw like Chuck Liddell end his career the way he did, the way Tito Ortiz ended his career the way that happened, right? These fighters that, even Glover, like Glover made the mistake of going back out there for another title defense. And yeah, he needed the money, but it's just a shame, when you could go out on the top of the top already. That's just the way to go as a fighter. Ending out on top. Sure, they'll have their legacy and they'll always be a champion. You can never take that away from them. But there's something that I would argue that it's just retiring with that belt is I just think their careers aren't tainted in some way. You've never, even though you saw that defeat the last time you recall seeing them, they were the champ, and there are forever champs. You know, when you see Bisping and you see Daniel Cormier, you always see the best of the best. You're always looking at a champion, but there is something to be said for those guys that you didn't see lose while they were the champion. And I know, I get it. These fighters aren't making money until they are the champs, until they're at the top of the top in the UFC. They're not making any money, so it's just a shame. It's just something that not enough fighters do, and I think it's due to the fighter pay. You know, they're not making the money until pretty much the end of their careers. Until once they get that championship, they're not making any money, and it's a shame, but that's just the way it is. Not bad, not bad at all. Very soft. Yeah, a little slight hint of like almost like walnut. Nice floral, great aromatics, aromatics, aromas, great aromas, very nice, subtle, soft flavor, excellent cigar. Yeah, that guava and that lime make it give it that help that whatever citrus is already might be in the cigar, it's really adding to it. It's adding a citrus component to it that's really nice. And that's what you get when you marry it. Sometimes I didn't even think of that when I bought this beer. I actually bought this beer. It just so happened it works out better this way. I think with the other cigar, I would have had to just like go to the Pacificos that I have in the fridge. This wouldn't go well with the broadleaf. I was expecting more guava, right, than the lime, but it's definitely more lime. And it's for some reason it's working with this blend. I think would work better. It is working better with this blend than it would the darker broadleaf blend. I think this ended up being a good choice of a pairing because they do complement each other well. It is a very nice, soft aromatic on the nose. I like that a lot. It's something that I could slow down, even slow down more than that I'm right now, and I think that's what it wants me to do. I'm forcing the cigar. Like I mentioned that earlier, I'm doing something you don't want to do. Is fighting the cigar. You don't want to fight the cigar. You got to try to find its pace on where and how it wants to burn better. And I think I'm a little too aggressive for it. Mm. Yeah, great effervescence on the beer. Really strong lime presence. Again, if you're into a sour, this isn't a sour per se, but it's pretty much a sour. It tastes very much like one of the sour beers that are very popular right now. Maybe the guys at Solemn will disagree with me, but it is a sour. It tastes like a sour. That guava presence isn't strong enough. It's getting overwhelmed at this point, and it's more of a strong lime, but still very good. Let me go grab another one of these. Ooh. Midwest Dawn. Midwest Dawn. Solemn Oath. They make great beer, guys. I've been outside of the tasting room when they had little festivals, skateboarding, hanging out and stuff like that. I've yet to go, actually. I don't think they have any food over there in Naperville. It's a little bit far from the city, but I need to get out there and go visit them. Everyone's surprised that I've mentioned to a couple beer people that I made content. There's not really a ton of great feedback, or no one's actually watched it, which is okay. But I appreciate all your beers people, all your local people here in Chicago that I've reviewed. There hasn't been any bad product. I think we are. I've mentioned it as before. At we are the episode. We could not. I could be different or wrong, but we're the caliber of beer in the Midwest, all throughout the Midwest, especially here in Chicago, is just top notch. It's just so good. And I know that stuff in Upper Peninsula, Michigan, stuff in Milwaukee, in the Milwaukee area, the Detroit area, Indiana. I mean, great beer is coming all over the place from the Midwest. You know, shit. We were down fucking in the South. We were down in Kansas City, Missouri. That Boulevard beer was spectacular. Beer throughout our country right now is just so good. You could get a good quality beer anywhere in the country at this point, but I really do appreciate the work that all of the people that, you know, go look through, even the titles, guys. If you don't have to watch the content, go look at all the titles I've done and like the video while you're looking and reading the description of what I'm smoking and what I'm drinking, and make a list of those things, and then go and buy some of it, right? Especially the beers. Like, support local people here in Chicago, in the Chicagoland area, if you're here in Chicago, and then support the cigar companies and the cigars that I've tasted, because for the most part, we have not had a bad cigar. And I'll always mention the price to you guys. Like, I believe this one was like $6.45, almost $7. So it's at Binny's. You can get this at any Binny's, which is primarily local, but I think outside of Illinois, they're called a different, or they're brethren to a different company. But obviously there is a big cigar and booze retailer near you where they're going to have a humidor, and you're going to find a cigar like this, because this is a cigar for the masses, right? It's not at the $6 price point. It's not ultra premium. It's supposed to be highly accessible. And that's why I think they make the smoke when they're saying that they want to find a cigar for happiness, for someone, all this, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's like, hey, they're making something that all of us want. We all want that affordable smoke that is just going to influence us, put us in a good mood, that we're happy with what we purchased, that it's going to complement our food, that's going to complement our beer, and just settle us down and just have us relax and enjoy our day, despite it being a really shitty day. But being about better, welcome about betters. You know, if you made it this far, you are about better. I'm not going away. I just want to let you know that you are about better. If you've actually watched this, made it this far, you're not only about better, but you're somebody that has the potential, or already does, enjoy fine cigars, potentially beer. Otherwise, I'm here for your information. Leave something in the comment section. Comment, like, and subscribe as always. Getting close there, guys. Still a decent burn. Not perfect. I don't know if that was like from the storage, or that I didn't light it as well, but it's got a little coning, which isn't bad. Nice slight placation, which is pretty good. Another potential retirement fight this week, that were guys that aren't going to retire. Just like Clay Guida isn't going to retire. Matt Brown And Court McGee, this week's card is at least in the morning, which is a good thing. I love those morning cards, whether I'm at work or not. I'm actually going to be at home for most of this card. Like the main event is at 3 p.m. But Court McGee and Matt Brown, I think these guys both are at that point, man. They're exciting fighters. They could continue to fight these themselves and these other aging popular fighters, but Matt Brown retired once before. I'm not certain if Court McGee did as well. I like Matt Brown at that price. Court McGee is definitely the better wrestler, just wrestler. I like Matt Brown's. His jiu-jitsu is just, at his age, just isn't there anymore. Both are super tough guys, but at the price, I got to chase Matt Brown. I chased him last time for a loss when he was in Ohio, and he faced somebody that's similar to Court McGee that wanted, that went to war with him and beat him up pretty bad. Brown, I wouldn't say that he got robbed, but it was a close fight, and I think this one's going to be a close fight as well. So for that price point at plus 180, which I'm not going to bet, guys, and if I do, I'm not going to bet very much this fight at all. I think the bankroll for this fight this card is going to be $100 tops for me. So, that would probably entail putting like $40 on Matt Brown or in that range. Let's see, going down the card, if I feel strongly about somebody else where I could part up that money. But Jessica Rose Clark and Tanya Lisboa, even money. Don't feel a certain way about either person, right? Brian Battle versus Gabriel Green. That's going to be a good fight. You're getting a little dog money on Brian Battle. Not the most consistent, not a lot of speed, good athleticism. Gabriel Green might have the wrestling upside, but nothing spectacular there. Hawk. The only spot that there are only a couple spots where I'm interested on fading certain people, a few spots. First, primarily, is Ihor Pretoria versus Carlos Uberg. Uberg, I am still not impressed by. I don't know if Ihor is the person to do it with. Ihor doesn't have the best striking defense. He just not. Carlos Uberg is not minus 375. I need to look at that a little bit better, but I'm just not there. I'm also not completely sold on Nathan Levy against Pete Rodriguez. Right, I'm not sold there. I don't think Alex Morono should be at that price of minus 240, but I'm confident in Alex Morono winning out as a possible parlay piece. And I think the other dog spot for me, even though it's a tough one, is Ian Gary versus Daniel Rodriguez, because Rodriguez, his boxing is just so good, and Ian Gary is there to be hit as well. And Johnny Walker, Anthony Smith is very, very interesting. But I haven't been looking at this particular card that much, just because I still have the bad taste of losing. And I didn't just get back on the horse and like, hey, well, let's do some research. Let's get back on the horse. Pick out something here that you enjoy, like something that can be a winner for you. And I just haven't been that motivated to strike again, to reload and aim and shoot at something. I'm just not that excited here. And if I was going to be looking at spots, it's that Matt Brown at that plus 180. It is Pete Rodriguez, even though Pete Rodriguez is there to get knocked out. Nathan Levy is not fantastic. He's improving. He's good. But I think Pete Rodriguez has that puncher's chance himself, and that he's willing to trade, stand and bang and trade, especially in that first 2 minutes, that he could catch Nathan Levy. And then D-Rod. Ian Gary's got a lot of hype. Great, long, tough guy, but Daniel Rodriguez has a lot more experience in the UFC. Faced a higher caliber caliber of fighters than Ian Gary, but this is Ian Gary's step up. From here he gets ranked fighters. So Daniel Rodriguez is playing the gatekeeper, and then Anthony Smith and Johnny Walker. It's like for both of these guys to get back something that they've lost. We talk about two guys that were like at the top of the light heavyweight division, and that now are gatekeepers themselves and are meeting each other to see if they just remain relevant, right? I think each of them has something to prove here, and between these two, I don't know if Anthony Smith is just gone. He's just so inconsistent, and I don't trust Johnny Walker. I mean, he is very fortunate, great athleticism. I think if just Smith had a game in there with a game plan, utilize some of his wrestling and maybe even his jiu-jitsu. I don't care if Johnny Walker got a couple submissions here and there. He just does not have the jiu-jitsu game that Anthony Smith has, nor the wrestling game. But Smith, for some reason, despite having a high fight IQ, hasn't really performed to the standard consistently that we would like him to. But this is a very important fight for both these guys. Both these guys are... Smith with a loss, definitely. If I were Smith with a loss, I would just hang it up. He's a good commentator. He's good in front of the camera. He could get hired by anybody else to work behind the camera. Doesn't have to fight. Seems like a family man, very smart guy. Where Johnny Walker is a lot younger. I believe he is younger, but I'm not going to risk very much on these areas. If anything, the two dogs on Daniel Rodriguez and Matt Brown, and as crazy as it sounds, I might throw like 10 of that $100 in parlaying both the two at plus 754, right? If I bet on both of them, I'm going to parlay them as well. I know that sounds crazy. They're already at plus money, but it's only the 10 additional dollars. Or pick a third person that I have a little bit more confidence in, or that other third potential dog, like in someone like Brian Battle, and put them in the Trixie, or Ihor in the Trixie, right? I lost a small Trixie last week, but it was nothing. But Alex Morono in the Trixie with Matt Brown and Daniel Rodriguez in the round robins. So I would do not 3 singles, but the 2 singles. But on the Trixie, I would bet, let's see. I don't want to do that. Not 60 on the Trixie. Let's do a little less. So let's do, $48 on the Trixie. Right? Yeah, I'm done, man. I feel done. Welcome, bout betters. Yeah, on the Trixie, that $48, maybe just $40. $40 on the Trixie. All right, so that's $10 on each parlay, $40 on a Trixie to pay out $249, and then $30 on Daniel Rodriguez on the money line and $30 on Matt Brown on the money line, and that would be my $100 a day. And that's it. That's all I would bet. I mean, I shouldn't even bet that. How bad I did last week. Like I said, I haven't tallied it all up. I know I've lost over $300. It might even be closer to $400. I hate saying it. It fucking hurts. It really hurts. And Brian Kennedy, my sub, you did call it. I think you did mention it. But did you bet it? Yeah, those last week's losses, Joey's saying not more for one, but he must have had a rough week too. I know I had a rough week. I know that a rough week in addition because of all those Rangers losses, the hockey losses that I had. But man, like I said, I didn't win one bet, and that's the second time this year that's happened to me. And we're in that same range of losses because Brian's like, Smith ducking sucks. Yeah. Well, yeah, or fucking sucks. Yeah, there was a lot of really, really. Joey saying Williams killed him. Yeah, Chaos Williams, like not finishing. Like that went to the over, which was plus money. It went to the distance, which was plus money. His decision line was super big plus money. Just bad overall. Hmm. See, now we're at the middle. And Joey says he's never betting Rodriguez again. You mean Daniel Rodriguez? I mean, Daniel Rodriguez in his last bout, that was with who is he with D-Rod? Let me get there. With D-Rod. Who is he with D-Rod? Did he lose to Magny? Yeah, lost to Magny. I mean, how was that fight? I mean, D-Rod was doing pretty good until he got subbed, right? Yeah, Daniel Rodriguez outstriking him. Magny had 5 takedowns, right, for 4 minutes of control, which is okay. He was being totally outstruck. Oh no, he wasn't being outstruck because the total strikes. No, yeah, Magny had more total strikes, and I bet that's because of the kicks, right? Yeah. Let's see here. Where did Magny get those strikes? The striking advantage. I don't see anywhere that I don't know what's wrong with the UFC stats because that doesn't seem accurate. Because in the significant strikes, D-Rod had more. He had 66 out of 108. But out of the total strikes, Neil Magny had more. But then when they part out the strikes, D-Rod won everything except the clinch, like 10 of 14. D-Rod was 3 of 3. Right? So I don't understand where that total strike number wins but it was fairly close. And D-Rod himself had a minute and 16. Oh, Marina Rodriguez, the girl. Oh yeah. Yeah. Marina is done. She's done. She's losing her rank. She's going backwards, right? Like she's beat all these good fighters and then just getting worse, right? So, yeah, that was bad. I had Marina Rodriguez. I wouldn't bet her again. But D-Rod, I think in this instance, can be a spoiler. We'll see if that goes that way. Again, I'm just in that. I want to say that $100 for my bankroll range. I like D-Rod. I like Matt Brown. I'm not sold on Ihor Pretoria versus. I want to fade Uberg, but I'm not there yet. I don't know. I'm just happy to go with that, and that works for me. That $100. Yeah, I mean, Hill's just so inconsistent. So I might jump on Hill. Right now, Joy, I'm not even thinking that far ahead in a way. I'm not, I might take a break for a while, but I would, and how much have I lost on Hill? Like Hill's definitely at the end of her career, but you're right. Dern's wrestling is horrible, and if she can't get it to the ground, Hill should be able to dominate her on the feet. But Hill is aging. I would strongly would more than likely favor Hill. I'm just not at the gate yet to bet it. Right? I don't know what number is there for that particular bout. Yeah, that interesting. The Canadian card's shaping up quite a bit. It's not horrible, but not great. Yeah, I don't want to look too far forward, guys. I mean, I definitely should. Like I said, a battle of two guys that should retire. I know that Brown hasn't been himself lately. Court McGee's got great jiu-jitsu himself. Great jiu-jitsu defense. Might have a reach advantage. I like Brown. Just as two tough guys, I might just have to avoid Brown. Thinking about it, I mean, Brown just had, was retired once, and Court McGee, they're both at that age range where, it's just risky. But I think the numbers should be a lot tighter. And for that dog money between the two, it just makes it nice. Although I should just stick to like maybe D-Rod at the plus 205 and Alex Morono at the minus 240. Go a 2-pick parlay. Just throw the 40 at the 2-pick to win 130, which is risky. And then $60 on D-Rod just on the money line. So it's just more of bank management and money management that, in what my risk to reward is that I'm going to have to try to execute this week. Otherwise, just pass entirely. I might have to pass entirely and just wait till I feel a certain kind of way better about certain fights. But not feel, but research better, see a better matchup, a better fault, a better mismatch, and a better mismatched money, line on the gambling lines, like something that's skewed or off, and go from there. I think the people that bet these dogs last week did really well. If you're on dog money this week, you did really good. If you're on these dogs, a lot of dogs won and they finished. Frivola finished. The Asian lady finished, right? Who else finished last week? Come on, computer. Who else finished in Cejudo? Muhammad almost got a finish, not quite, but Yan Shannon, good dog money. Lopes had his chances. Gracie did horrible. I can't even talk about that fight, but yeah, Frivola, Kenny Njoku Clark blew that dog money. Chaos Williams got Virna Jandiroba was a good dog. Parker Porter was at one time a dog. Alesikov was not. So yeah. So I mean, the people that won won. But if you pick the right dogs, which were Yan Shannon, right, Bilal Muhammad were the two big dogs, and Virna Jandiroba was a decent dog. Those three dogs probably paid really well. I didn't expect that ash fell right on my hand. Burned the shit out of me. Burned the shit out of me. Yeah. Less of that citrus now. Some of the flavors are really compiling into the cigar. They're compounding themselves. And it's turning more of a nut and cedar sort of base. A little bit of oiliness, which is good. But more of a strong cedar and nut sort of quality. Some of the citrus and that spice is gone. But it still has this nice floral farm, prairie, very soft, nice bouquet on the nose. Good. Solid 8. Went up a point, half a point. That's okay. Half a point's half a point. But yeah, this next card, I don't think it's as bad. Oh yeah, Mackenzie Dern and Angela Hill is in this card, but they don't have any odds for it on the. There are no odds on. Where is it? On the betting client. Are there odds for it? Yeah, I don't see. Yeah, there aren't any odds on the sports book here, so they don't have it there. But yeah, I definitely might. Angela Hill as dog money. If she's dog money, maybe that's my play again. The last of the last time I will ever bet Angela Hill will be this time. But we'll see, guys. I'm staying away from most of this card again. It just got so beat up last week that I'm not a very wealthy person. I cannot afford to take the losses like that. Do not have that level of expendable cash, and that really just utterly, just really destroyed me. So I just don't have that drive right now to get out there and like I said, get back on the horse and start throwing money at shit again. It's just not, I just don't have a bad taste in my mouth about the gambling right now. And I know that'll change, but unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to make it out to North Carolina because of that. Like that was all that. I was like, okay, I take this extra money. That's exactly the amount of money I would have needed, regardless if the guys go with me or not. Where I could have gone myself, got tickets and everything. Like $300+ is the weekend, and there that goes. So not cool. But we'll try to make it up. We'll try to go to a different event. I'm not certain, man. I'm just disappointed. I still haven't recovered from it. It's been a very challenging weekend, I should say. Yeah, less of the citrus guys, a lot more of that cedar and wood note. That nuttiness is there. The citra isn't as pronounced. I think the oils are starting to. Ooh. My dog there sounded like that. That's weird. Oh yes, what's out there, buddy? I heard you. There's nothing down there, man. I'm gonna get another beer. Yeah, I'm gonna get another beer. Well, nothing for you. Come on. Come on. Welcome, bow betters. Yeah, enough being down, guys. Like, there's risk to reward of what we do in terms of gambling, and like if you're doing crime, you're gambling. If you can't take the losses, then maybe it's time for you to get out. And maybe it's time for me to get out. I don't know. It's I'm slowly bleeding money, guys. Like literally, this year worse already as bad as all of last year. Right? Like last year, I think I took a total $1,700 loss last year, and we're in that range already this year alone, and we're not done. So it's like Steve Miller says, take the money and run. But we're not taking the money and run here. We're like, take the losses and run. Like take your beating and get the fuck out of here. Take your licks and get out while you can. Because it's at that point, guys. It's at that point. I don't make the kind of money. I'm not wealthy. I stick to $200 watches, $20 bands, very affordable. I stick to the good beer. It's a lot of beer. That's a lot of beer money right there that I lost. That's enough cigars and beers for quite some time. I could do the sip and smoke for quite a bit with the losses that I took. So got to measure all this out. Got to figure it all out and make a determination, make a decision on how we're going to proceed forward, if we are, or if it's going to be about better, but different kind of about better. Like maybe like the other people, like, all right, we're going to talk about this, but we're only making $2, $5 bets. Going back to $10 bets, which still sucks. Like, because then when you win, you're like, fuck, I should put 100 on it. Yeah, just I'm deflated, I guess. I'm deflated, but I'm not out. I'm enjoy still. We're here smoking a cigar. We're having a beer. The beer is a little acidic, and I could feel that. After you had the second one, the guava isn't as defined. It still cleans the palate, but I don't think it's complementing the cigar in the same way as it initially did. I think it has high drinkability, but it's one of those, even though I'm going to start the third one, it's more of those, like you have a couple of those, then you move to some other ale or you move to some other beer. Well, on a positive note, talking about my benefits and investment, I mentioned to you guys that I opened up my HSA, which is my health savings account, which is money that is used for your health costs throughout the year. And it's pre-tax, right? So it goes out of your check and it's not taxed, right? And then you make purchases on your medical expenses as you need. And you could also use it to buy things like bandages, anything's medically related, your ibuprofen. In this instance, I used it for my medical examination. My eye medical examination for my eye exam that I took today, as well as to buy my glasses, right? So that's pre-tax. It was sort of basically tax-free, right? That I'm going to get reimbursed on the tax that the lens crafters charged me. I'm going to get that back in my taxes or through this HSA, and using that to pay is like just awesome, because that is more income that I've earned that is not taxable. So I had a certain amount already in there. It cleared. I got the eyeglasses. I didn't have to pay out of my credit card. I already had that money stored up already. I didn't have to pay out of my account. It is money that I would have gotten back anyways. It is exactly as it's described, the health savings account. So, and I went in there and bought these new glasses that I should have paid $400 for. I already had that money, and I'm still paying the $400, but it's money that I already had saved pre-tax, right? Which in itself is like the deal. It's like, it's compared non-tax to pre-tax, right? Add almost 30% of what I paid, it would have been 30% higher with the tax. If I paid out of my account, if I paid out of my credit card, which is even higher, but if I paid out of my debit or savings, we're talking 30% higher of a cost that I would have paid for that that service and for those glasses than I did pay. So I'm stoked. I mean, to get these new glasses. I lost the other ones that are very similar. But the importance of, or what I'm saying, is if you're my age, and I learned something about my eyes, that I am aging. I never thought of me having cataracts, but there is the development of cataracts already in my right eye, I believe she said. Or was it my left? I recall what she forgot, what she said, but and she said it's normal and it's not bad, and it has been through. I have to start wearing my sunglasses all the time. And she said it's just over time with the sun. She's like, "You work outdoors?" I'm like, "Yes." And I'm like, "Oh, I've been surfing my, good portion of my life, always at the beach." And she's like, "You got to always wear your sunglasses." Like, it's just over time. It's been sun damage, is what she said. It's probably more likely just exposure from the sun. And it happens to everybody, especially my age. So she was mentioned. So guys, like, if you're going to be in the sun, you guys work outdoors, you're going to be in the sun, regardless of how it looks or doesn't look, if you have bad sunglasses, wear some sunglasses out there. It's going to definitely help. From what she was saying, just always wear your sunglasses when you're working outdoors. It's going to help or slow down the cataracts. It's just part of aging. It won't be as bad. So, and I'm a sun person. I've been out there in the sun. Even though I'll try to stay out of the sun when I'm there. I'm there so often and doing so many things out in the beach and outdoors that I have to just be more diligent about wearing my sun protection, right? Think of it as sun protection for your eyes. And so that's what we're doing, like, in the future here on out, for sure. Just get another pair of decent sunglasses. I have some good sunglasses, but have to be more diligent about making sure that I'm wearing my sunglasses, getting another pair of shitty sunglasses. But for you guys that are my age, if you're over 50, get that health savings account. Even if you're under 50, it's a savings account. It's still tax deferred. You won't get taxed on it. So it's a way to, like, just put money away that's pre-tax, that's not taxed, that you'll get back. And that can, even if you're paying for, like I said, you're able to pay for certain things. I wonder if, like, you guys, what I need to find out is if you paid, like, for your supplements, like at GNC, if you guys are working out, or if you're younger, or have, if you have, or your shakes, your smoothies, like other things that are involved in your healthcare, if those qualify. And I need to do the research on the background. You guys do that yourself. Do a search on your health savings account and just do a search, like, what can I buy with my health savings account? Because what they do is they give you this card, basically a credit card, and you use that for purchasing things that are medically related. So like I said, aspirin, if you're a woman, you can use it for your when you menstruate, things for your menstruate, which is your tampons, your fucking shit, man, your fucking ibuprofen, or man, same thing, ibuprofen, use it for can you buy condoms with it? Like, you might be able to get, buy condoms tax-free and at a cheaper rate, whatever it is, it's a good idea to establish an account like that, because one, it is a savings account, and two, you can buy product that basically is tax-free, right? Like, you're going to get reimbursed on the tax, and you're saving your income on that, right? So it helps you save more money and improve your tax liability. And then on top of that, you save money on the tax of the product that you're buying. So yeah, now more of a nutty character. Very nice. Light like a Connecticut, but it isn't a Connecticut, right? It has just more of a deeper oily character to it, more of a deeper nut, not quite like a little light cashew or a light peanut. This is just more stronger of a walnut character to it, lot heavier oils. Still very nice on the bouquet. I'm very curious as to what's on this band. I could definitely get it going. Nope, I should have waited. Whenever you see this, guys, and you start to peel it and it's still like is glued there, you probably took off the band a little too soon. Let it heat up a little bit. Man, that's nice. The one thing that I love about this point of the cigar right now, the oil is coagulating in this end of the cigar. It's getting that bigger full body. I'm getting the better draw. The flavor diversity is not as refined, but it's still very good. It's just more of that, like now more of that nut, slight cedar, but good oils, which is awesome. I actually want those oils. That's what I like. I like the big oil. I like that big flavor. Is what I'm always chasing in the cigars, what I always would prefer. And it's starting to develop that way, so that the end of the cigar is going to be big, full, more of a fuller body with that nice light bouquet and that light flavor. That's a nice cigar. And the citrus on the start now, and it's from the beer as well. It has that nice little, it's from the beer. That little slight citrus sour on the start helps the cigar quite a bit. It gives it that citrusy start. So you're starting off with more something that's like floral and citrus at the beginning, right? Because of the beer. Nice, soft, the guava, soft guava from the beer over the time, exchanging it, salivating it. The beer is a little more soaked into the end of this, and it's getting heating up. It's the cigar, the guava is starting to taste here, and I can't taste it in the beer anymore. But it has the hint of the guava, which is not the cigar, guys. The guava has nothing to do with the cigar other than it's slowly through my palate, through my saliva, soaking into the cigar via the beer, right? So that's how they complement each other. The beer slowly, what's lathered on your tongue gets into, or this part of the cigar, the very end of the cigar, adding a character note or adding to its flavor, and it's doing really well because the citrus part of the cigar that was light before, it was probably more of the beer, because remember this is a guava and lime, tons of lime, is going well. And when I have this thing just sitting on my mouth like this, it's all guava and a little lime. Really nice. Really nice. This is a very good pairing. Very nice pairing. Oh man, lots of lime. I wouldn't say too much lime. It's more lime than guava. I wish it had a little bit more of the guava, but it's there too. But in the cigar now, like that blend, that guava lime blend, has definitely saturated the end of the cigar there. Because I'm big into the saliva, big spitter. Still soft, but richer. So different. The cigar now is so different than it was before. Oh. Fucked up this band. Was there anything in the back? No, there was nothing on the back anyways, but wow. Don't do this, guys. Don't do this to your cigar band. Let it come off naturally. I forced it, fucked it all up. Don't do that. Don't do that. Wait, be patient. Remember, for the beginning, I told you that I wasn't being patient with the cigar, and I wasn't. Don't fight your smoke. And I fought it, so that's my mistake. It's not on the cigar. Still came off good, but don't do that shit. Very nice finishing cigar. It's finishing really a lot richer, a lot more oils. It's just more of what the smoke, more body to it at this point because of the oils. Still very soft on the nose, but not as soft as what it initiated in. So now it has a more deeper, more richer character to it, but still an excellent cigar. We already gave it an 8, right? It went up to 8. I don't know if it's going to get that 8.5 rating, but it's almost there, guys. This is not bad. It's just like everyone has their preferences and the things that they want, and obviously from my dialogue and the things that I mentioned to you, yeah, I'm just into a lot more of richness of deep earth tones, that jungle, that like we were saying, that the cosecha, the farm, this is different, or the harvest, but this is a softer cigar. This is more subtle, more refined, which has its place, which has its flavor place, place with people. This is a cigar that, I think when I think of this cigar, I think of prayer, like sitting on your back up on a tree, on a small hill, overlooking flowers and prairies, whether it's wine country or wine, but overlooking just soft sunshine, like summer, sitting over just a nice silhouette of soft, who's Wayne saying? Steamroller? Oh man, I did not get enroll a steamroller. Hey, if you bet it, man, you bet it. I didn't bet it. I was on, not Cody Stamen, the other dude. I was on Drew Dober for sure. I didn't think Steamroller would do it, but man, that was pretty amazing. Like, Drew Dober can't go out there and just battle with these guys. You got to come out there, even though he's got a chin. Eventually, that chin, anybody could hit it, no matter how good your chin is. You can't. There's certain fighters that could do that, like Nate Diaz could sort of do it. A few other fighters can just like get beat and then like they just come back on you. Like it doesn't matter with them. But I don't think Drew Dober is that guy, and we just found that out. They're like, oh, okay, I could just fucking say just like the when Drew Dober beat King, when he beat this guy, it's like, hey, you can't fight with your hands down and expect to get your head fucking hit and then not go down. Like, everybody has a chin. Everybody's gonna has a spot in their body that is you're gonna go down. I think that might have been the biggest upset on the card, right? Was that the biggest upset? I think so. It's last week, so it doesn't matter. Rosenstrike KO. That would be an upset right there, right? That's his best. That's his only method of victory, right? Rosenstrike suffers from the same thing that Njuku Kennedy is like. It's like Rosenstrike is a nice big guy. Like, Rosenstrike looks like he should be a mean black fucking monster. Like, Rosenstrike looks like the type of person you see in a dark alley. You better start running up the fucking goddamn walls. You better start fucking climbing something, because you have a hard time climbing. You might not have a hard time running. He might fucking catch your ass running, but he's going to have a hard time running. Like, I mean, climbing. You better fucking hit the fucking escalators, start climbing up windows, fucking doing goddamn parkour, getting up something. Because Rosenstrike was, looks like that type of dude. It's like, he gonna kill you. But he's soft, like he's saying, like not soft, but they're mentally soft. They're nice guys. Like Rosenstrike and like we mentioned Kennedy and Izuku, like they're those big guys that are nice guys. If they would just like have that killer mentality that like I'm gonna fucking destroy this motherfucker, it wouldn't matter what Jalton Amida wanted to do to him. Jalton wouldn't be able to take him down. Jalton would not be able. It wouldn't if Rosenstrike just went out there and had that killer mentality in a precise and calculated way. He's up there as a contender, as a champion. And let's see if Kennedy Njoku is getting used to finishing people. So maybe like if they get used to, maybe they need to just like see some like a therapist that like lets them know, like a sports therapist that like not only skilled wise, but it's okay to go out, even though you're Christian or Catholic. It's okay to go out there, and kill this dude. Yeah, but Jalton also has got good boxing. Jalton's got good kicks, good hands, strong power. Problem is like look what happened to Njoku. Njoku, Clark had him. But was just stupid, not calculated in his strikes. There's a point where Rosenstrike quits, and there's a point where Kennedy quits. Not only that, there's a point where if things aren't going their way, they let up. They do not have that intestinal fortitude. They do not have that second gear. Like, oh, you hit me, I'm angry now, and I'm gonna fucking beat the shit out of you. Or from the strike, they don't have that killer instinct. Rosenstrike and Kennedy to me are very similar. They are very nice, respectful guys. That if they weren't big and just designed the way they were, they wouldn't be in fighting. Like they would be doctors. They're just or they're just nice people, right? Like Kennedy Njoku is like a big religious guy. I think Rosenstrike is as well. Rosenstrike he's just a nice guy. And in this game, man, nice guys don't win. Like you don't want to be that nice guy. You need a level of aggressionness. You need a level of urgency. You need a level of danger. And these guys, when they face that danger or when they're met by it, they crack. Like Rosenstrike should not have lost to a lot of the people that he has lost to. Same with Kennedy Njoku. Like it's just like when they face adversity, despite having adversity in their personal lives, when they face adversity in the octagon, they fold. And we saw that with Clark and Njoku this weekend. If Clark had better fucking fight IQ, which he doesn't, he had Njoku taken, had him on the ropes, didn't calculate, gassed himself out, didn't do things properly, lost. And we've seen this from Rosenstruck constantly as well. If Rosenstruck had that mean streak in him at heavyweight, his power, he might be. He could have been one of the strongest heavyweights. Like he could be one of the strongest heavyweights if he had that mean streak. I don't know what happened in his career. I don't know what's going on. I just think that their demeanor and their character is different. It's not. They're good people, right? From hard places. They're from tough backgrounds, and part of their success is being, not having that killer instinct. It's like restraint. Like they have restraint from harming people. They don't really want to harm people. Hold on here, my dog's tripping out. What are you doing? Well, people now are like starting to talk up Kennedy as having that dude physically and mentally, no, physically, like with his attributes. If you can't stop a takedown from that dude, he could beat you. He could be champion easily. Of course, against John Jones, that isn't going to happen. John Jones is going to take that motherfucker down, right? Like, but I think he'd have a chance against any of the other heavyweights. That division is so thin that what's good for him is that John Jones might not be there once he's ready or has gotten his chance for championship fight. John Jones is not going to be there, and he could be a champion. Maybe there isn't a fighter with the takedown ability left to challenge him, right? Let's see how he does against the Russian. But Shuey mentioned Blades didn't take him down, and he's other people have though. I think it's just more of aggression level between both of those two, and I think that Kennedy might have the more upside, being younger, being taller, having that reach, being able to fight from the outside. If he can just piece his things together, sort of get to that next level, which I don't think he's there yet. Beating Devin Clark is not a big step up. It's not a big win, right, for him. But he looked still somewhat the same. I don't think he's crossed that or reached that next plateau. I don't know if he ever will. I think Rosenstrike is on the way out. And that's why Jailton Almeida has more advantages both on the feet and on the ground. Jairzinho, though, definitely had potential. And he's the biggest dog on the card in a main event. So, Schwain, I would not... Let's see. You know one thing, though, Schwain, is I think that what they're going to do is Jairzinho Rosenstruck's money line is going to be very similar to his KO. They're going to offer you like plus 460 for the fucking KO. They're going to screw you, right? They're going to offer, or maybe, around the same, which is not fair. But it is what it is. So you got to grab him on the money line. And is it worth a lottery ticket? Yeah, for sure. Like, Rosenstrike is one powerful man, and he has more than enough power to knock out Rosenstrike. So I would agree with that. Is it probable that it happens? No. I think Jailton hits him, takes him down, grounds and pounds him. Doesn't he get the sub, but grounds and pounds him. Because Rosenstrike doesn't have any takedown defense, very poor wrestling, no submission defense at all, but Jailton won't need to do that. Jailton himself is a very thick, big man that if he gets on top of Rosenstrike is not moving. And Jailton's not going to be trying to look for that sub or an arm bar or Kimura or anything, which he can get as well, but it might take time. But I don't know if it happens quickly. It usually does between those two heavyweights. Like, the under 1.5 is really going to be juiced to the gills. That thing's going to be like minus 400. Like, it's going to be under 1.5 at minus 300. Not to go the distance at minus 400. They're expecting a finish. I would expect a finish as well. I would be surprised if it does go over that 1.5, but that chasing that over 1.5 might be a play. It might be a sneaky play in that. Like Jailton Almeida might get that sub or that finish late in round 2, early round 3, and if Rosenstrike. Same thing. Rosenstrike could get that finish in the same period. He just starts slow, moves slow, and Jailton, same thing. Like they really pace themselves a little bit too much. I'm. I'm not willing to chase Rosenstruck for much right now. And I'm not willing to chase the Jailton Almeida finish line or the sub line or the submission line. There's probably better spots here. I could get back to, I doubt I get back to everybody, but right now I think picking one of these dogs, not Tim Means. I like Daniel Rodriguez. I not sold on Pete Rodriguez. I'd avoid that one. Douglas Andrade against Cody Stamen. That's going to be a lot closer than people believe. Same with Mandy Bohm and Jonghyun Kim. It's going to be a lot closer than people believe. Brian Battle at dog money might be a value slightly. It should be close to even money, and it somewhat is. And then Matt Brown against Court McGee, but that's even a risky one there. I think D-Rod is probably because he's playing gatekeeper, and has the more experience, is the best dog or probable dog to win his fight. And it's a decent price. And if you got it at a better price, then yes. But remember, we're just chasing dogs here. We're literally chasing the plus money. It's not something that I feel strong about. But Schwane's look on Jairzinho is completely valid. Man, that dude is just a monster the way he's built. He's thicker than Jalton Almeida. He's more powerful than Jalton Almeida. He's got more kickboxing experience than Jalton Almeida. But as a total MMA fighter, Jalton has the advantages, and then that just the lack of aggressiveness, the lack of that killer instinct in just Jairzinho. I can't back him. So who can we back, right? I'm looking at who we back. I can't back really Pete Rodriguez against Nathan Levy. I think Levy has better overall skills, but Pete Rodriguez got that. I'm telling you, in the first round, if you're going to take Pete Rodriguez, take him that first round. Guy gasses, but he's got knockout power. He's got some submissions as well, but he's aggressive. And Nathan Levy's more of a calculated, he's strong, good jiu-jitsu, more of a taekwondo sort of style. Yeah, but I'm betting prices, and I'm not betting skills, and I got to stop doing that, or I don't like doing that. Whereas in the with Daniel D-Rod and Ian Gary, I'm looking at that. What's good, MMA Jesus? I didn't catch you in Kansas City, man. I was looking for you, man. Surprised you didn't see me there. Wait, let me go get the last beer I'm drinking for you guys. So as a summer beer, guys, this is a tough beer I think it's going to be good. It's one of those, I've drank 4 of them, right? We're drinking 4 because I'm a drinker. But it really could be mixed with something. I was on the floor too. I was on the floor. I was behind the commentators. You haven't seen my photos. I got Dana White privileges. You didn't see, but you're not friends with me on Facebook. But I got photos of not Dana White, but with Bisping, Brendan Allen. A lot of. I got to meet all the fighters. I got to do everything. We were in, I forgot what section. We were in Dana White sections. We got the Howler head tickets. So I was right by where Dana White, right by all the press people. We had some of the best seats in the house. They were better than the floor seats, actually. I mean, Jesus. Because 2 of our friends had the floor seats as well, and they sat with us. And we were at a little bit higher of a level. So right where I was right where, when we did the press, where if you look at my videos and we went to the press weigh-ins or whatever they're called, the fake weigh-ins, we were in the same seats basically. So for me, it was a big upgrade. They were like, it was just huge. It was good. It's all right. I was looking for you. You didn't mention anything in the comments. You didn't put any contact information. You didn't DM me. You didn't do shit. It's all right. Don't worry about it. We went to, what was the barbecue place that everybody else went to? I saw that All the other MMA fighters went to the same Q90. It was. We went to the Q90. We were hanging out at the little center square that had the stage with all the places where Guy Fieri has his bar, right? So Guy Fieri had his bar and all those other people. So yeah, we did Q39. Yeah, Q39. We were at Q39 in the morning. We went there right when it opened up. We were like the second people in. That place filled up. My goodness. I didn't know that place filled up in literally 15, 20 minutes. Like we walked in and after we walked in, I noticed already almost a line. So it was like really, is that what that square called? Power and Light? Man, that place is awesome. That place. Yeah. I was wearing the big yellow shirt. You know, I was very noticeable. Wearing this hat, in fact. All good, bro. I would like to go to this Carolina one. I lost too much money. The expendable income is gone. I'd like to go to it. I'd still like to go to it. If my friends, if the guys would have, you know, all supported, then like we go there, the hotel, like our bed at Airbnb is a lot cheaper for the 2 days. We're cutting off basically half the price. You pay like for 100 rather than 200. You have 4 people, you know, being aggressively trying to find Dana White, things to do. It makes it more fun than going by myself. So yeah, it starts in the morning. I like that. Maybe I do it. Maybe I still do it. We'll see. We'll see during the week. I don't want to stay with my family in Carolina. I'd rather like get an Airbnb. But we'll see. We'll see. Like, but thank you for joining the stream. I'm glad you're here. MMA Jesus, go guys. I don't have to worry about it going to his channel. You guys going to his channel. Somebody definitely that puts his money where his mouth is, and like I was saying, like people that win and lose, you know, that admit that what they're doing, that aren't always winning. I did. No, I mentioned earlier in the stream I did horrible this Saturday. One of my tied for my worst nights of the year, if not ever again. Like, or I had worse nights. My worst night was the Nate Diaz Leon Edwards card, and that's because I do some after I've been drinking, I gotta stop doing that. Like, so I would like throw two at the even if Nate Diaz losing in the second round. I'm like, man, or like even I did it with this guy versus Volkanovski, Ortega versus Volkanovski. Oh, they're offering me plus 1,600 after round 2, right? Like after round 2, they're offering me plus 1,600 money. Like even though he is getting his ass kicked, I could get an opportunity to win. How much on $200? I could win that. So I'm drinking. I got fucking $200 in my pocket. I'll throw fucking $200 on Nate Diaz at plus fucking 2,400. Or I'll throw $200 on Ortega at plus 1,800, right? So I do shit like that. Like I will do shit like that and win. Sometimes I'll win. You'd be surprised. All that matters is the pocketbook. MMA Jesus. I don't care about stats. I care about fighter stats, but at the end of the day, the only stat that matters is my bank account. And my bank account is a lot lighter after last week. Like a lot lighter. Like not good light. I don't have that. I'm not a high roller, but I do bet big increments. I'm not afraid to play. I'll take my shot. And this instance, when I did do that, it just didn't work out right. And it is what it is. I'm humbled by it. It hurts. It literally hurts. Like physically, mentally, financially. It's a big, big hit. But you got to pay to play. You know, go big or go home. right? Some guys, yes, and still good matchup. I didn't bet that fight actually. Maybe I should have. When there it didn't seem to be, there should have been enough parity for me. There should have been enough signals. Aljo, and I did mention that just had the experience. I thought that the puzzle might have been, because he has such a good fight IQ. I really thought Cejudo would figure it out a little bit better, and he couldn't. He's just not that normal size. Aljo's big for the division, and I think he saw more skill. I can't just like put it on the physical attributes of Sterling, but Sterling physically and just speed wise and movement wise and vision and fight IQ. Just some people thought that it should have, like, it was a bad call, that people had it for Cejudo, and I'm like, I don't know what fight you saw. I have no idea what fight you saw. That's as if they would have given the bout to Marina Rodriguez against this gal, Cochetta. I was like, what the fuck are you saying? Even though I had money on Rodriguez, she got fucking dominated, right? But one judge saw it a different way, right? It's like, what the hell? Not a split decision, but he saw her at least winning a round, which was crazy. It's like she didn't win a round. Like, she did not win a round. Yeah, it's I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna pull back. I take a break. Big, I wouldn't say I'm on a losing streak, but I'm bleeding money slowly. Like I mentioned before, I mentioned it before. I've lost more money already this year than I did the entire last year. But I was behind back last year too because of a couple bouts, right? So I do bounce back. There are those instances where I lose $300-400 and then I come back and then make $400 profit. That does happen. So I could be like evened out for those two events. But right now I'm seeing I'm in these waves, and I don't, you don't want it to be like that. You want the climbing peak, of course, and I'm waving, right? I'm up and down, and that's, you don't want to be there. You don't want to be in these swells up and down, because over long term, you'd rather almost be like just a straight line of just even money almost. And that's what I did the past few years. And I hated it because I was like, even money. I broke even again. And people are like, oh, that's a win. And yes, it is. And I understand why it's a win, because it's better than being up and down and or in the negative. But yeah, I want that, like a nice stock price or watch price that just keeps sliding, slowly going upwards, or even slightly this way, but upwards. And I'm not going upwards and onwards right now. I'm going up and down. And at this point, like, if you look at just my ebbs and flows and then you look at where I'm at, I'm down. Like, if you look at the total, not the progressive amount, because the progressive is like this, and then the total is going to be a skyrocket down because the losses far outnumber and the wins. So yeah. But yeah, there'll be an event again, MMA Jesus, that we'll be able to join you at someplace. Come here to Chicago. We'll see everybody at some place. There's gonna be shit. because regardless if I'm betting or not, I'm still going to do this content. I'm going to do it. Yeah, I always mention I got to change, blah, 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 blah. I like the Sip and Smoke series. Ooh, my God, that changed everything. That was interesting. That's nice. Again, more wood, stronger cedar, and the lime is not overpowering it, right? The lime is not the dominant flavor palette or the citrus anymore. Like that part of the citrus that was like nice and sweet, the guava. Also in the beer, the lime is still dominating the beer by far. And that's to be expected. You need the actual guava with some lime on top of it. And guys, I don't know what you guys do, like put lime over your mangoes. Lime, in Mexico, we do it all the time. Mangoes, put it over your watermelon. Put lime over your oranges. Lime enhances and makes all of it just so much more flavorful. Most fruit, period. Put lime over your pineapple. Fucking will taste lime, pineapple, and fucking tagine. Awesome. Be bold. Fucking barbecue your watermelon. Barbecue that fucking lime and that, which is great on your steak or your carne asada. Barbecue that shit. Put it over open flame. Mango over open flame. Don't be afraid of it. Right? Guava over like open flame. Don't be afraid to put your fruits. Orange, I'm not as much orange. I love my, not as much cooked, nor strawberry, but you could do strawberry too. I think I like the heavier water-based citrus on the grill than some of the other ones, but give it a go. Try experiment. Don't be afraid to experiment with your foods, with your flavors. You look at how many ways you could do mac and cheese. You go to New York, you go to some places, and they have mac and cheese with this. They put the onions, they put fried onions, they put the grilled, they put with this, with that. Like you go to this one place and he'll make like fucking. He has a whole station of cheeses, of different cheeses to put on your mac and cheese. To put with your pasta. And he'll make a different mac and cheese with it. Same with your fucking burger. Look at how many fucking ways there is to make a burger. Guys, just don't be stale. Don't be stale with what you're fucking eating. Don't be like fucking Joey. Like, oh, I'm going to have the fucking Italian beef today. I'm going to have the fucking Chipotle tomorrow. And then I'm going to fucking have the basic Mexican shit the next day. You know what I mean? Don't be, don't be those dudes. Like develop your flavor set. Develop your palate. Develop your openness to food, to beer, to alcohol, anything, soda, whatever it is. Just try different shit. Try differently. Don't be afraid to like, hey, I'm gonna mix this with this. Like we did it when we were kids, right? You go to the fucking 7-Eleven, you got the big fucking big gulp. You fucking mix some of the Slurpee, then you go over there and put some fucking Sprite in it. Then you're like, oh, let me put some orange in there, boom, and then you put another Slurpee flavor in there. And you did with the hot dogs over there at 7-Eleven. Do the same shit as an adult. Do the same shit. Try to make it a little different. When it's not that big of a deal. That's what chefs do. They experiment. They're looking at like, hey, let me put this with this from what they've learned. They're just more refined and more defined at doing it. They're still just experimenting. They're just still mixing things. They're mixing flavors. That's all we're doing. Lime and guava, right? With the wheat ale, not in an IPA, in a wheat ale. It's a mixture. That's all it is. Cigar. Nicaraguan, Mexican. Nicaraguan, Brazilian. Nicaraguan, Honduran, Nicaraguan. Honduran, Nicaraguan, right? Like we're just talking blends, right? Cameroon, Nicaraguan, right? Like, or Cameroon, Mexican, then Honduras, right? Like it's a cigar blend. It's a mixture, a mezcla. Shout out to my boy TV. He just doesn't like his popcorn normal. He takes that microwave popcorn, throw some spice in there, throw a little cheese in there, throw a little hot stuff, spice in there, mixes it up. You know, that's the way you do shit. You're gonna have that same fucking popcorn, that popcorn out of the package, the same time every time, fucking 1,000 times? No. But mix it up a little bit. Throw some grated cheese in there, little hot sauce, right? Some tagine if you want to. You know, so add some salt. Throw a little sugar in there. I don't know. Just mix it up. Try it a little differently. Yes, I love my steak grilled for the most part. But even grilled, there's ways to do it. Add wood. Put a thing of wood with your charcoal, or even in your gas area. I have this little box that I could put over the gas, right? That it still adds like this hickory and other flavors to the steak, even though it's on a gas grill. Like it heats those things up. It heats that box up and adds flavors to it, right? Like it just adds some rosemary. If you want different herb, add some other herbs to it. Like, why be stale? That's what is this being stale? No, my day's off. I have one day off. Shitty day. If I'm going to be stale, and if I were going to be stale, I would have had the same cigar. Or I made certain I was different for you guys. That's why it's good I had this in the humidor still. I forgot about it. I was going to drink a cigar that we had before. And no, I was like, you know what? I finished my eye exam. Let me go to the store that was close to me. Let me see if there's something I haven't had, which the Solemn Midwest Summer Ale I haven't had yet. Just came out. Right? And then I just happened to have this in the humidor. That's what we're talking about. Doing shit a little different. I mentioned again, man, that's nice. That little citrus that's there, but a lot more oils. Admittedly, a little slight more bitterness, and I think that here's why that bitterness is happening, guys. It's because I'm getting a little buzzed, and I've been surging with this cigar. This cigar wanted to be smoked slowly. It didn't want to be smoked as quickly as I did. It didn't want me to force it, and I'm forcing it. But it happened, but the oils on it now are excellent, which is to expected at the end of a cigar. Really nice. We're gonna give it an added 8.25, just because it burns so well. It has already in itself has a diverse flavor palette, and then it changes. For the cigar to be able to change for the better, or at least change throughout its run, is a tribute to it being a better cigar. So 825, final, Project 40, excellent cigar, naturale, Nicaraguan, more than likely all the way through and through. Alec and Bradley, these guys right now, Alec and Bradley for the price, guys, I mean, gotta be the top cigar maker, period. I mean, I bet I'd find a few people to argue that. Like, they make the best budget cigars, some of the better medium premium cigars. I mean, like those $10 cigars. And, they're holding on to some other shit. Like, I think soon we're going to start to see these ultra premium Alec and Bradley cigars that they have. They just haven't busted them out yet because they're still sitting on them. They're still in their aging areas. They're still in their big pelotons and their big fucking piles of fucking tobacco someplace. Hopefully in a cave. They got caves in Nicaragua. Something for you cigar people. What is the best environment to ferment your tobacco in? What would you say is the best environment? Leave that in the comments section. I already know my opinion of it. But what is the best environment to store your tobacco? Where? What are your options? Outdoors? In a barn? In a warehouse? I'm not going to mention my idea. Maybe in cedar lined open casks? In a cask? How about in a cask? Like for you guys that want that whiskey like beer, what if you left open like these whiskey barrels? You put them in whiskey barrels like tobacco, these wrappers in whiskey barrels, and you just left them open, or even drilled holes in the whiskey barrels first, or cut holes so you only have little strips of the whiskey barrels, or and then you would store tobacco inside of them. That's an idea. Shit, that's a great idea. Doing shit differently, but in cigars, and the cigars are one of the areas that I'm most traditional thinking about, and I prefer the traditional methodology of everything that is done that produces what it does produce. I don't like all that sometimes, you know what I mean? Don't need all that, but I would say, like, where's the best area to store your cigars? Just saying. Where's the best area to store your wine barrels? I know where I like my wine barrels stored. I mean, if you're in the jungle, do you have that luxury? And maybe that, like I was saying before, in the jungle, how is it stored differently than on a farm? Because this tastes like a farm cigar. It doesn't taste like a jungle cigar. It tastes like a farm cigar. Yeah, it's a farm in the jungle. Yeah, I get it. But to me, when I was mentioning all the flavor sets of this still reminds me almost of America, even though it's not. It reminds me of a prairie, of a plain area, not a, not the jungle, not the deep river forest. Guys, if you've made it this far, you are about better. You guys are good. Please hit the like and subscribe. The more people I get liking, I'm going to actually probably switch the channel over to having not necessarily less MMA. I'm going to keep it the same. Fuck it. No point of fucking reinventing the channel, going back to like trying to gain these cigar and beer people. Let them find their way to me. Let the MMA people find their way to me. And if they don't, that's okay. Right? Like, we're not too concerned with that. Like, this isn't everyone's like, oh, trying to give me mentions like, oh, you'll get big if you do this, you'll get bigger. Like, come on, man. I have no interest in, isn't it? I'm 50 something years old. The career path isn't going to be to get on the UFC or to be with Bisping. And if that wouldn't matter, you get a little visitation, you get to hang out with them. I get on Joe Rogan's show. It's like, it's not going to fucking change my life. It'd be fun, but it's not going to change anything. Right? It's not going to fucking alter my life in any way that's significant, except for being a great week or great fun. So that being said, Joe Rogan, if you like my content, have me on. Actually, I have nothing really to say to them. What MMA show would you like to be a part of? Everybody wants to be on the big shows, the big stage. That's an interesting question for me. Oh, I already know. That's simple for me. There's two of them. I'm already participate already on the MMA holes. I would love to be live with Moss and his wife. Love to be talking with him, hang out with him, because he's just so good. He's just so good at what he does on YouTube. Still think he's one of the best. But Ariel Helwani, MMA Hour. He put guys that didn't really gamble, that knew a little bit about MMA, that more of in the back end of professionalism, as forefront as their gamblers and their cappers and stuff. But even so, I would like to, if any show I'd be part of, or like to just, I'll still talk to Ariel again. I will meet Ariel again. We'll hang out with him and talk to him for a moment, and just say thank you for all the things he's done for MMA and done for YouTube MMA media. You guys don't realize, like, he is the godfather of this industry, of even YouTube to an extent. He's been around so long, just producing stuff that it'd be cool still to see him, and again after all these years. And why Ariel ask the best questions. Like, Ariel not being part of the big show sucks. Ariel being extradited from the UFC hurt MMA journalism. It hurt all of us as people, and I think Dana's going to disagree. Other people would disagree. But he enabled even the fighters. He helped the fighters. Pioneer, underrated as supporting fighters, supporting content creators, and supporting MMA journalists, and supporting the industry of the small guy being a big person, a big voice in the industry, in any industry, whether it's basketball, hockey, or sports, that the little guy can have a voice, do it professionally, do it at a very high level, and for him, fortunately, being very successful with it. But got to give him major props and respect. So that would be the show I'd be on. Right. Other than that, second, Chael Sonnen. I'd love to be with Chael because I could just hang out with him and talk other shit. Michael Bisping too, but number one, Ariel on YouTube collab, Dream Moss from the MMA Holes. Lots of nut right now. Lots of nut. Hard walnut, more wood. The citrus is completely gone. That softness is gone as well. The floralness is gone. Now it's all like wood and cedar. Cedar, wood, not even hard cedar. I had that light cedar for a moment. There was this like nice cedar taste. And that walnut, more of a walnut. Master rolled. Not quite master, but good roll. Well rolled. Well rolled. Obviously by somebody who was very good still. Alec and Bradley is just, they are the, what's up, Real News? Alec and Bradley is just at the top of the food chain right now, like of up and coming great cigar manufacturers. They're good at, they've established themselves really as now one of the top factories, in my opinion. Real News, what's happening with our Oilers, man? Dude, what's going on? I got the Oilers in a big fucking lunch bet. It's going to cost me. I got to go to Fogo de Chao. I'd rather go to Fogo de Chao and not pay than pay. I'd rather have the other guy pay. What's going on with our Canadians? Yeah, everybody's scoring. Good call, Real News. Not even 6.5. I would have liked it to be the 5.5 to be more secure. But the scoring in the playoffs from all these teams, even if it starts slow, Real News, don't get scared if it starts slow. If it's like no goal scored in the first period, for some reason that over 5.5 is the better number. You took the 6.5. I would have taken the 5.5, and you could cheat it down 5.5. They've been scoring those goals. All these playoff teams, there's been some goal scoring, but man, Real News, what's up with our Canadian teams? Man? Canada, just getting just getting mopped up. I'm glad you finally checked in, Real News. I'm about to check out with a few more puffs in this cigar. Like I mentioned earlier, Real News, I had a rough week last week financially, but I'm still working hard. Things are still going really well. We're going to move forward. Maybe not on the gambling tip as much, but everything's still going to be good. We got things going on in the summer. There's going to be more beer. There's going to be more cigars. There's going to be more opportunities to make some money. There's going to be hard work to be done in the meantime. So, like, all you guys, like, even Solemn News, fucking get on that horse, brother. Get back up on that horse. Like, not just in the losses, but, like, I'm still chugging through. I'm still dredging around. It's a little bit of a dredge. I'd say that. I would say that's what I'm in right now. I'm dredging. It's not fun or being dredged. I'm the dirt that's being dredged. I'm not the dredger. I like it when I'm the dredger. When I'm riding the machinery, fucking doing the dredging, moving the dirt, I'd rather be that guy. And I'm not. I'm the dirt being moved. And it's not a good feeling. But we had a cigar today. Things are still good. This was again the Alec and Bradley Project 40, $7 cigar, just under $7. Fucking the Solemn Brewery, Midwest Summer Dawn, good beer. Like, this was like $12 for a 4-pack. Is life that bad? Is life really that bad? We're fucking still smoking cigars, drinking beer. Life is not that bad. Fucking get over it, people. Do your thing. Do your thing. Enjoy this. Enjoy, like, even this card. Make lemonade out of lemons, right? That's what I think was this event was lemonade for sure. It was a very good event last week. Hopefully this event ends up being the same. Very nicely rolled. But now, as I mentioned before, I think we have all the citrus, and that sugars from the beers is turned into a lot more bitterness at this point. I still like it, but it doesn't have the flavor complexity. It really is just smoking for the smoking at this point. There isn't as much flavor. A lot of people don't like smoking it to this point. I love smoking it to this point. I already gave it an 8.25. I almost should go to 8.5, that you could smoke it to this point, but maybe that's more a testament of me than the cigar. But we're wavering there. Strong, nuttier, heavier oils. Yeah. Real News, he says he's down to those last $10. Hopefully he picks it up 5. Man, dude, Real News. Bro, I'm working, I'm making money, but I'm debating whether I need to take a break. And I do, man. I got a vacation coming up. I got to, like, even every $100, every $20, even with the beer, even doing this little show, like we got a $7 cigar with a $12, like right there, we're at $20. Every 20 goes, how much of it? $20 is like a day in Indonesia. That's like probably lunch and dinner, right? And maybe a beer or two. I'm at that point where I got to start. We're at May, or this doesn't have the date. Unfortunately, this watch doesn't have a date. That's the disadvantage of this watch. It doesn't have a date. Um, but a lovely watch. I love wearing this watch because it's so diverse. It has like enough colors to wear with a lot of different stuff. But how far does $20 get you in Indonesia? How far does $20 get you in the Philippines, or you're in Thailand? Like we're at the point where those 20s, that 30, that 100, or the 200, 300, like 300, $400 was my down payment on my Indonesia trip, and I almost lost that this weekend. So put shit in perspective. Be careful what you're betting on. And the screws need to be tightened because I got May, June, and July. July is my vacation time, and I gotta aim. I gotta get at least 2 G's between now and then. I'm down, like yeah. So bad, 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 bad. I'm saying is bet within your means. Bet what you can lose. Think about what you're losing when you do when you're gambling. Like all the work that you've done. I don't even want to say that. It's like I'm just not doing well and not doing well. Not doing well. So the bank account's not doing great. Um, Real news in here. I was very happy that I was actually able to utilize my health savings account today, which was awesome. I don't want to cash in any of my stocks or take a loan against my 401k to go to vacation. That's worst case scenario. Might have to happen because I want to buy a new board, take the new board there with me, new board bag, new fins, new leash. We're talking over $1,000 in itself. The fortunate thing is that I get the free flight, so just keep my job, do my good work, get there, and maybe I rent the board. Maybe I take what I got. Maybe somebody loans me a board. I'm not certain of all that stuff right now, but it's definitely getting to crunch time, and the gambling is costing me. The gambling, I'm bleeding. I'm on the losing side of things. Not comfortable with what that means in my life, because that's money that I could have used to invest, could have used other areas. So yes, it's my expendable cash. Yes, it's those double. I did two doubles the past fucking 2 days. Right? But when you're just using that to gamble, think about it. Like it's not free money. It's not fucking free. Nothing's free. It's still you're working hard. You're not working towards your retirement free. You're working towards your gambling for losses. So that's what I'm saying. I got to stop that shit. So this week, $100 maximum bets. Looking at like 3 different spots for that $100. Let it be what it is. I'm already cost my North Carolina trip because of the gambling. That's a loss. So that's a net loss. If I had won, I'd be in Carolina by myself, no problem. So my gambling already cost that opportunity. And that's a big thing. You guys don't understand what that really translates to, what that really means. But it's a big loss. A lot of work went in trying to get the days off, working hard, doing doubles to try to get there. And then now I can afford it, but it would just be tight. And I prefer to go back and just okay, no, in order to just make certain that I'm going to try to get close to my vacation amount that I need. So guys, budget your money, budget your time, understand that your time is indeed money, and the things that you do with your time are important. And if it's a rewarding person, like now when I'm drinking and I'm smoking cigars with you, this is fun time with me. I want to smoke a cigar anyways. I want to drink a couple beers anyways, and I do them with you. And so I appreciate all you guys coming in here in the stream. Anybody that watches this shit, please like and subscribe. Share it with people. Share it with people that know beer. Share it with people that know cigars. Share it with people that know MMA. Let them get out there, get more participation. But I really do appreciate y'all. MMA News on the last note is saying June 10th, UFC won't be going to the it's his 30th birthday, mid-July, and won't be doing much like the past however many years since the breakup with the ex. I've been down lately on things. It could be worse. How you doing? You're 30 fucking years old. Hell yeah, bro. Real news. Here's what you have to understand. You are not at your the lowest point in life that you could be. Like, I get it with the ex. I get it with the women. You could watch Kevin Samuels. I watch all this stuff. You could watch all these this man bro bullshit things that try to make you feel better. And it's good that you understand that it could be, dude, there's somebody out there in Newfoundland. There's homeless people there. There are people doing fucking crack down the street that fucking already shot themselves, already fucking overdosed, that, or they had a successful business and shit been fucked up. You know what I mean? Dude, don't worry about it. Real news, I know that. Don't worry about that. You don't have to review this stuff. Don't worry. The pussy will be there. It's harder for men to get it, but the best thing to meet new people is to have a lifestyle and a way about yourself that will enable you to do that. Right. And don't worry about, don't be single focused on like, oh, I live at home, I'm broke, and blah, blah, blah. As I mentioned before, go play some hockey, play some street hockey, join a club, hockey club, fucking go to church, start volunteer at some place, you know, go participate in these internet groups about whatever you're interested in, sci-fi, or, you know, MMA is primarily male dominated, but get participating in other things that aren't as male dominated, and it's a little better, but it's challenging. I get it. I wouldn't worry and focus about those things. Get yourself a good job. Start making a little bit more money. I'm not going to tell you to work out, be all this fucking shit. Yeah, no, you just got to start doing it. Don't even worry about that stuff. Just start on something. Stick to it. You could still be a pilot. You could still be a fucking goddamn fireman. You could still be you could still go in the military, right? You could still fucking drive a tank. You could still fucking fly a helicopter if you wanted to. You could still go fucking put up some cables up in the resorts. You could be a miner. You could go to a fishing boat. Like, you just got to get out there. You got to just change a little bit of that. No, and we've talked about this way too much. Don't even worry about that shit, bro. Thing is not to get, even my losing mentality or losing this week, it's a loss. But I've already worked. I lost the hard work that I put in the weeks prior that I could have used to something else. Right? That's the big loss. Big loss, no doubt. But is it a fucking game ender of all life of things? No. I did it. I bet you got to accept what you bet and how you're betting, things like that, and other things in life too. And you haven't done anything to lose, right? Like you haven't, what is he saying? He messed up his head, says take a fight, and as I kind of know, it turns out for someone not like me, not good usually. Nah, man, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say your messed up head is like, they call it stinking thinking with the drug addicts and alcoholics like myself. Like, I've done a lot of good things. I still do a lot of good things. I'm so busy working that this is like right now is the little free time I have with you guys that I really enjoy. Girlfriend aside, I almost don't have time for a girlfriend. I'm working so much. And that's okay because I'm trying to pay for like trips and things like that and things and experiences that you could be women those experiences. I'm not saying that I'm going to, but I'm just saying that you could. I do. I'm saying that like you can meet people and your life can expand. That little hard work and here and there gives that free time, that little cushion, where you get able to enjoy yourself, but do not like bury yourself instantly. Like there's no point in that. And Renews, we've gone through this way too much with each other. And I want to continue. I don't want to continue on this discussion path. I don't mean to cut you off, but I'm definitely finished my cigar, but you're not a loser. You're not somebody that is what do they call those? They want to call it whatever, but you're not a nobody. Don't worry about these things. Everything's going to be in place. You're still young enough to make a lot of good changes. You just got to decide what your change is, and then putting a good 2 years into that change. You want to get your CDL, be a truck driver, go and do it. You want to be go be a nurse, start being a nurse. You want to get into the business and finance area, you're 30 years old. You could still fucking become a great financer. You want to become a lawyer, go to fucking pick up your law school, go to community college, go to law school, counselors or whatever I don't know, or what you guys call them. You could still do that. You want to be a fireman, you could still go and be a fireman. You want to be a police officer, you could still go do that. But you have like a year and a half, 2 year window to make those things a lot easier. I'm not saying you can't do it after that. I'm saying you have like that 2 year window to really excel at making it happen right now. So that's my suggestion to you, is like, make the plan now, make the define that path now, and not wait 2 years. Don't procrastinate 2 years more, because that's 2 years harder, 2 years behind yourself, where you're not going to have that freedom, where your family has that freedom, that window of like respect. You're not going to have that ability and that drive as you are younger. It's going to get worse. You're going to get worse into that. Oh man, I've tried this. I did that before. I failed at that. I worked hard at that and it didn't work out. You're going to just develop these excuses, and you're going to bury yourself into this level of like, I can't do it anymore, where you can do it. Don't worry, dude. MMA real news. Don't worry about that stuff. You're fucking fantastic, dude. You're going to do fine. The key is make the plan and start executing something. Make a decision. Like I said, there's so much you can do. You want to mention it. You want to get your easiest thing, CDL, truck driving. So fucking easy. So fucking easy. Or driving a bus in your neighborhood. So easy. You just drive. You just take the test and you drive. Driving. Harder skill things. Nursing. You want to be a nurse, going ahead. That with the nursing, I would say the other skill sets is like police officer, fireman. You could still do those things. Military, you could still get in the military or the reserves, and you could still do that and build a skill, right? Trade schools, that you could still become an electrician, plumber, contractor, construction, fisherman area, fishing boats, right? Farming, agriculture area, weed business in goddamn agriculture, weed industry. You're at the point where you definitely need to make a decision. Like me, I tell my people that I know, I'm on the declining area. Like, but you're like this. You're at least even. You think you're on the downside. You're not. You're just on the low, even though you feel yourself on the downside, you're not. You have been skating along and need to start moving up, right? But you have to do it in the next 2 years. Like, you have to do something, not just for fun. Like when I was at year ed, I was like, I went to do something for fun and I don't mind it, but it cost me in the career wise and life wise. You need to do something that's going to help that life experience, right? So, and there's opportunities there. So examine those, look at those opportunities, bite on one. And more than bite on it, fight like you were an MMA fighter. Train like you were an MMA fighter in your next goal. That's my advice to anybody and everybody. Approach your next life goal like an MMA fighter, and you'll be successful, because they're the strongest, most focused, and put in the hardest work into what they do. And if you put 30% of the effort that some of these pro MMA fighters and MMA fighters do into what your life goals are, you're going to be successful. And on that note, I'm going to let everybody go, because you guys are about better. Thank you so much for joining the stream. Please like and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think of the beers, everything else, your picks. Please just take care of yourselves. You're all good. And if you've been making it this far, you are about better. Love all you do. Thank you. Boo.